Welcome back again to another stimulus check update for July 17th, 2020. Make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end. That way you won't miss out on the special bonus at the end of the video. Today, we're talking about unemployment update on earnings, which is good news. The $2,400 a month extended stimulus check update for July 17th of 2020. And what I've got for you guys here is an article I found on Forbes, written by Jeff Rose. And let's get right into it here, because they have an explanation for all of this that I have made in the title, the $2,400 a month extended. There's been rampant speculation on the likelihood of an extension of federal unemployment benefits, especially in light of the pending expiration on July 31st, but an important domino fell in the direction of a benefit extension with the July 16th release of initial unemployment claims. The most recent figures, it confirms the unemployment situation remains dire. That being the case, arguing against an extension of federal unemployment benefits is quickly turning into a political non-starter. The latest employment numbers from the U.S. Department of Labor, which comes out every Thursday, it shows initial claims for unemployment at 1.3 million. It's just down from 10,000 claims from 1.31 million the previous week. And the hairline decline in initial claims is confirming a status quo on the employment front. So it's even possible that revisions, which are common with employment figures, will tell an even less optimistic story. Either way, the most that can be extracted from the recent employment numbers is a stagnated job market. That doesn't leave politicians with much breathing room as the July 31st expiration date on federal unemployment benefits looms. One bright spot in the most recent job reports is that continuing claims for unemployment dropped to 17.34 million from 17.76 million the previous week. That resulted in a decline in the overall unemployment rate from 12.2% to 11.9%. Still, both the unemployment rate and the number of continuing unemployment claims confirm the clear recessionary status of the economy and the job market. Even at only 1.3 million initial unemployment claims, the number is still twice as high as the peak of claims during the Great Recession back in 2008, and more than 6 times the average of 200,000 per week prior to the C-word pandemic. The bigger unemployment picture may be hiding beneath those latest numbers, though, because even the improvements in the unemployment rate and the number of continuing claims may be hiding something more ominous. Millions of workers have returned to their jobs since the middle of May as the economic shutdown was being lifted across the country. The reemployment of those workers was because primarily they were merely furloughed and recalled back to their job as the economy began reopening. But initial claims for unemployment, despite being considerably lower than they were at the peak of the C-word shutdown, have been taking place despite the reopening of the economy. There's an excellent chance that layoffs take place in the last few weeks are permanent, while those that occurred earlier in the C-word process were temporary. If so, the continuing high number of initial unemployment claims is pointing toward ongoing stagnation. Now, a Forbes senior contributor, Jack Kelly, he reported the bulk of the June job gains were not newly created roles, but rather businesses rehiring employees who've been previously furloughed and brought back. The data, as dire as it is, doesn't tell the entire story. We've seen overwhelming reports indicating that the economy continues to crumble and it's not likely to get better anytime soon. There's also evidence the employment situation may be worse than the boilerplate numbers put out by the Department of Labor. Roughly 1.3 million Americans have filed for first-time unemployment benefits last week, according to the Department of Labor, continues Kelly. If you add in the 1 million pandemic claims filed by gig economy and related workers, we're at an alarming 2.3 million Americans who saw unemployment last week. Now, the resurgence of the C-word sickness cases and the impact on employment is looming in the background of the economy and the job market, but it's having a profound effect on both. The resurgence in the C-word sickness cases. While the number of deaths from the virus has thankfully fallen impressively, new cases are at an all-time high. According to Johns Hopkins C-word Resource Center, the number of new infections nationally is regularly exceeding 60,000 per day. And that's nearly double the 30,000 plus daily cases reported during what was thought to be the peak of the C-word sickness back in late April and early May. At this point, it's impossible to separate the trajectory of the C-word from the performance of the economy and the job market. And given that the latest upturn in the new C-word cases only began in the middle of June, the full effect of the latest phase of the virus on unemployment has yet to be fully felt. If that turns out to be the case, the best news on unemployment may very well be behind us. Not only are some states rolling back reopening plans, but many businesses are limiting operations even apart from state-imposed regulations. Now, Forbes staff writers Sarah Hansen and Lisette Voitko had made some statements here. They said that some major retailers and attractions are also closing of their own accord, absent any renewed local restrictions. So they're closing down by choice, basically. Disney announced Wednesday that its Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California would not reopen on July 17th as scheduled, though Disney World in Florida is still slated to reopen next month. And Apple announced this week that it's reclosing its stores in states where the C-word cases are spiking, for example, Texas, Arizona, and Florida, among many others. Against the backdrop of the recent surge in the C-word sickness cases, it's likely consumers themselves will limit spending. Some may do it out of fear of economic uncertainty, but for others, it will be a byproduct of spending less by doing less. But either way, reducing spending will have a dampening effect on the economy, and it will result in flat unemployment or even worse. Now, there's an oncoming child care crisis. Even further apart from the current state of employment, there's an X factor looming just over the horizon, the reopening of schools. Fierce debates are raging across America, but especially in the southern tier of the country where the new C-word infections are rising most rapidly. A second shutdown of the U.S. economy is highly unlikely, given the economic fallout already experienced, but that's creating another dilemma for working parents. Though President Trump is ordering schools nationwide to reopen in the fall, it's not clear all will comply. And even if they do, they may still adopt a scaled-back version of attendance. California's Los Angeles and San Diego counties announced Monday that their schools will reopen remote only this fall. That's according to Forbes staff writer Allison Durkee. And New York Governor Andrew Cuomo unveiled a new data thresholds to determine school reopenings as states and cities openly rebuke President Trump's push to resume full-time in-person learning in the fall. Now, there's a comparison between online school now versus online school in last spring. The school situation is fundamentally different now than it was when the C-word first hit in the spring. And at that time, the closing of schools coincided with the economic shutdown. Both parents and students at home at the same time, childcare wasn't even an issue. But with the possibility of schools either continuing to operate remotely or on reduced schedules in the fall, many parents are facing a child care crisis. What accommodations will be made for the care of young children when the parents go back to work? There are no clear answers, which is putting many parents in an uncomfortable position of choosing between work and taking care of their children. The built-in flexibility that was apparent last spring is in short supply going into the new school year. Admittedly, the school reopening childcare issue doesn't have a direct impact on unemployment or the extension of the federal unemployment benefits, but it is contributing to the stress level being experienced by working parents of young children. That's the kind of dilemma that can easily spill over into the political arena. And that may translate into an additional incentives for politicians to act quickly on an unemployment extension as well as a second stimulus payment. But there's indecision in Washington, and the fast approaching election is coming up in November. Against the backdrop of crisis and uncertainty, the powers that be in Washington continue to debate, if only at a distance. For their part, the Democrats already made clear their intention to extend the $600 a week federal employment benefits past July 31st, calling for it in the CARES Act. This was included in the HEROES Act that was passed in the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives back in May. That bill includes not only an extension of federal unemployment at $600 a week, but also a new round of stimulus payments of $1,200 per person and up to $6,000 for a family of five. Though the Republican-controlled Senate continues to resist the specifics of the HEROES Act, they do support alternatives. However, those alternatives generally call for less generous benefit payments. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin has gone on record as saying the Trump administration wants to limit continued benefits to no more than a beneficiary's previously earned income. Now, this sounds like a reasonable counter proposal, but it's not without problems. Many are concerned that discontinuing the extra unemployment benefit will push many Americans into a financial crisis. This is according to Forbes contributor Renee Morat. This comes at a particularly challenging time as 24 states pause or roll back their reopening plans in an effort to flatten the curve, given the recent surge in the C-word cases. Now, to be sure, the payment of unemployment benefits exceeding a worker's previous earnings has been overly generous, but at the same time, it's helped to support millions of households as well as to minimize the impact of a severely distressed economy. As reasonable as limiting unemployment benefits to no more than previous earnings sounds, don't be surprised if the final unemployment extension doesn't come closer to matching the current $600 per week format. So basically, even though the July 31st expiration date on federal unemployment benefits is approaching rapidly, and there's no clear decision in sight right now, that situation could change on very short notice. Congress acted very quickly to pass the CARES Act back in March, right? Which was the beginning of the federal unemployment benefit program, which provided Americans an extra $600 a week on unemployment or $2,400 a month. This time around, the federal unemployment benefit is already in place, a piece of legislation that took weeks to become reality in the early days of the C-word sickness could well be extended in a matter of days. It really wouldn't take that long at all. And as unlikely as it may seem at the moment, we shouldn't be surprised if the president himself extends the current benefit set up by executive order in the closing days of July. Now, that can be done with minimal political consequences in the name of giving Congress more time to craft a more permanent option. So that's the outcome that Jeff Rose expects. Jeff Rose is a writer, a contributor, author, blogger, and he published this in Forbes today, actually. So I took high interest in this article. So I decided to share this with you guys too also as well. Now, do I agree with this article? Well, I believe there's a possibility that the unemployment extra $600 a week or $2,400 a month, however you want to call it, may be extended, because even economists are saying that that particular benefit from the CARES Act has boosted the economy, believe it or not, because it's caused people to go out and spend money. Okay. And it also protected people from going into poverty, protected millions of Americans from losing their homes or apartments, put food on their table. Also, so this is something that if it was just taken away cold turkey, um, on July 31st, it would cause a crisis. It would cause a chaos, actually. Um, so this is something that I believe Congress will extend. I believe this will be extended past July 31st. Will it remain at the $600 benefit? Maybe not, in my opinion. It may reduce to maybe $200 or $300 a week. But the other proposal that President Trump had to match a person's 100% of their salary that they earned on their job before they became unemployed, that I do not honestly see that happening, because I can see so many complications just with them trying to implement that. And I really don't think it's going to work. I believe it'll cost more money for them to try to put that particular plan in place to find out, how much money each person to earn on their job, just the research alone, and then implementing that. Uh, would the benefits be lower? It's possible the benefits may be lower, or the benefits may even stay the same. This stay at $600 a week, but I believe it will be extended. So I don't 100% agree with this article as it is written, but the article and Jeff Rose had brought up a lot of great points, though. However, about the child care situation, we've made videos on this channel about the child care situation too, and the child tax credit, which was also another proposal. And I believe something does need to be done, because if states are closing down again, like Texas and Arizona and California, Florida, then there needs to be something put in place to help people during this financial crisis. Because if the states are telling businesses to close down, then they have to reach out and do something to help these people, because these people are not able to go to work if their state and their business, company, place of work is shut down. So childcare is a must if these people are about to go back to work. Childcare is a reason why many parents cannot go back to work. So the childcare issue and extended unemployment benefits issue, they kind of both go hand in hand, sort of. So it's going to be very interesting. Congress, or the Senate, is coming back in session on Monday, July 20th, which is just actually this Monday coming up. So it's going to be very interesting to see what transpires this next week, arriving when the Senate comes back. And I know Mitch McConnell and the Republicans have a few proposals, and let's see which ones make it to the floor. Let's see what they debate about, and let's see what type of final package, stimulus package, that they come up with here. Okay, or let's see if they continue to do what they've been doing this whole time since the CARES Act was passed back in March, and since the beginning of the pandemic, where Mitch McConnell was talking about, oh, let's wait and see. Let's wait till after Memorial Day. Memorial Day comes. Let's wait till July. Let's wait till we see the numbers and how the money from the CARES Act has been spent. all of this delaying. Let's see if they do that this time, or if they actually pass a stimulus package and give people stimulus checks and extend unemployment also as well. So definitely, if you haven't already, please subscribe by using the button down below the video. Give this video a thumbs up or a like. Drop me a comment below and let me know what you think about this entire situation here with the unemployment benefits and the $2,400 a month. You know, if it's really extended, this could be good news for a lot of people. Really, it could. Okay. And also, if you haven't already, see the links down in the description. And if you need that minute by minute stimulus check updates or daily stimulus check updates, definitely join our Facebook group. The link is going to be down inside of the description. Just follow the link, and there's thousands of members there. If you have a question about stimulus check, the first stimulus check or the second stimulus check, unemployment benefits, or anything pertaining to stimulus, definitely let us know. And while you're in the description, also see the other helpful links to get free money and other helpful resources there also as well. So from all of us here at the How to Get an 800 Credit Score family, stay safe, be blessed. We'll see you in the next one. See you tomorrow. Bye for now. My name is Lyndon Baptiste, and on this channel we talk about ways to increase your credit score, build credit, and get approved for the lowest payments on mortgages and lines of credit, travel the world for free, earn extra money with cash back. And if that interests you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll never miss a single video as we make them.